Craig Hummer alongside Ali Najad for the second half of the round of 16. Our focus now shifts to the clubs and spades brackets, where 4 matchups are taking place simultaneously. We now head down to our much-anticipated feature matchup. Phil Hellmuth on the left taking on Tom Dwan.
So right now you're playing Patrick? And then
Hopefully,
Ivy.
I mean, we should be able to finish it in a few weeks if there's no games, but we've had different schedules and there's been so many games, so I think Ivy's next in line. I'm not sure, but I think. I just sit there and post and see who comes.
Get the feeling Tom had a late night there. His voice is a little hoarse, huh?
6-4 for Phil, suited. He calls.
What these two guys were just talking about, Craig, Tom is so confident in his online heads-up game that he's put up $1.5 million to Patrick Antonius's $500,000 that he can beat him for at least $1 over the course of 50,000 hands on the internet.
Durr with ace-10. He raises to 3,800. Phil calls. Flush and inside straight draw for Phil on the flop.
7,600 in the pot. Tom's out of position, but he's got control after raising pre-flop. And here's the continuation bet.
Durr bets 5,800. And Phil calls.
That's the kind of thing you don't like seeing when you've got a naked ace high on a board like this.
9 of hearts on the turn. Dwan's ace still best. He checks.
Here's where position plays such an important part in poker, Craig. Phil has the advantage of knowing that Tom did not want to put a bet in, and he can try to pick this pot up with this 8,000 on the turn. And he does it with 6 high, no less.
What do you think we can expect from Phil this time around?
Well, Phil's been waiting a good long year for his shot at revenge against Tom Dwan. Typically, he likes to trap his opponents. I think he's probably going to approach the match in that fashion. The only thing he had to say is that he knows he has his work cut out for him here.
Now, Tom Dwan may not be a household name, but in the poker world, he is a force to be reckoned with. Is he up to the challenge today?
I think so, Craig. He looks really loose and relaxed, and quite frankly, these are small stakes for him. This kid will win or lose $1 million in a day online and not think twice about it. When I spoke to Tom, he says he's willing to play small ball, keep the pot small pre-flop, but once those 3 cards hit the felt in the middle, he wants to pump it up, take it to Phil, and if he can do that, I think it's not going to be luck that gets Tom Dwan through this year.
He can do the Scotty laugh, too.
Somebody get that man a lozenge.
It's pretty funny, though. He was rattled by the hand and wasn't speaking in Scotty anymore. Went back to Daniel.
He did shut up a second.
Yeah.
Durr with queen-8 suited. He limps in, blinds at 8 and 1,600. Phil with pocket queens.
Raise it.
He raises to 4,100. Each player starts with 80,000 in chips in the round of 16. Durr calls.
He's in terrible shape against 2 queens.
Ace-high flop.
That's the kind of flop that may save Tom some money.
Check, check.
He doesn't get adventurous in position.
Flush draw for Durr on the turn.
He's not going anywhere now.
Phil bets 5,500. And Durr calls. 3 of diamonds on the river. Phil's queen still best.
He doesn't have Tom Dwan on an ace here. As such, the value bet of 8,000.
Tom folds. Hellmuth takes another pot and adds to his chip lead.
Couldn't empty the clip.
If you emptied the clip and I called there and beat you, that would have been so spectacular. I might have had to call just for that. You know what I mean?
We've alluded to the history between these two. Now here's a look at the critical moment that defines their rivalry.
Durr is an incredibly talented young player. He's proven it. He's made millions of dollars playing online. But for all his, speed and talent, I got him to put all of his money in when he was a 4.5 to 1 underdog.
I'm rolling. I call.
I made what, at the time, I assumed was a very standard play. Now, knowing Hellmuth's game, it probably was a bad play, but I happened to get lucky and suck out.
That is the tennis.
You played the hand. I'm bad, that's the truth.
We will play as many matches as you want.
Do you admit it was a terrible play on your part?
No, it's standard. Learn to play heads up,
Standard
no
play
limit.
with 1 in 53 blinds, 20,000?
Learn to play heads up, no limit.
It was an overanalyzed situation that was very borderline.
Just have it taken away like that. It does hurt. It does leave a sour taste.
Whatever. It's one hand.
We'll see if you're even around in 5 years.
I'm gonna start doing the one earbud look too, Craig. I mean, what is that, Secret Service or something? Who's he got on the horn?
I tell you what, their pain is our gain, though. This is the matchup the poker world has been waiting to see. Phil with ace-8 suited.
Raise 16.
Raises to 3,200. Durr also with ace-8. He calls.
More often than not, these two will be chopping the pot.
Deuce, Queen, Jack, Rainbow.
Generally speaking, when two players hold the same hand, the more aggressive man is the one who takes the pot.
Durr bets 4,700. And Phil raises to 15,000.
Wow, that's a new look Phil Hellmuth.
You had your crystal ball working right there, Ali. Durr folds, Hellmuth with another one. There's a long-awaited rematch at our featured table, but every face-off in the round of 16 features a formidable collection of talent. These recognizable faces are all just 4 wins from the title, but none can look past the task immediately at hand, the round of 16 at the National Heads Up Poker Championship.
What's it like being dad to Junior out there?
Well, it's wonderful. You know, this is something that he's done all himself. He had very little guidance into poker at home, although we all play games, and we still do. To do what he's done and to take it to the level he has is something that is amazing. We're all proud of him.
You mentioned that you didn't think he was going to be a poker player. What did you have in mind for him? Doctor, lawyer?
No, I just wanted him to get a good, solid education, and he only went so far with that. But this was so important to him, and it's sort of tied in with your first question. I mean, this is something he did all himself.
Right. Well, he graduated from the School of Antics. Which side of the family did he get that on, your side or the mom's side?
Well, neither side. I mean, this is another thing he's developed all himself.
You're like, are you my son?
Well, he has his own sense of internalization, and sometimes it doesn't come out so well.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll let you get back to watching the match. Thank you.
Do you know who won the first rounds? I know Sammy, David.
Sammy won, and David won. I know that, yeah.
I don't know who else.
Blinds now 1 in 2,000 for Durr and Hellmuth. Tom with King-8. He limps in.
He must be pretty good at this.
Phil 4 deuce.
He won one of the
checks.
heads up at the WSOP.
Yeah. He beat a buddy of mine.
Check. I'm gonna check.
Phil check dark. He pairs his deuce on the flop. Durr pairs his king and checks. 5 of spades on the turn.
Hellmuth has picked up a wheel draw. He's gonna take a shot at the pot here.
Durr calls.
Phil can't like that.
Queen of clubs on the river. Phil checks. Durr bets 3,400.
He clearly doesn't have Phil on an ace here. He's trying to put a small value bet out there, and Hellmuth won't bite.
Durr takes the pot. Hellmuth was very critical of Durr the last time these two met in this tournament, but he's since grown to appreciate his young adversary.
He's a great player, there's no doubt about it. And he's young, and he has a different way to look at the game. No, I mean, I don't want to play him. He's one of the best online poker players in the world. He's won a fortune playing online poker. But I do have, you know, some real-world experience. I've won an awful lot of big tournaments. I want to put on a great performance. It's more than just making the final 8 to me.